Ready. Set.
Gamecast.
Okay. We have got all the bits and bobs and all the Shmobs. They're ready to go.
Oh, Shmobs. They're my favorite, dude. Shmingles and Shmobs. Can that be the title of this episode? Shmingles and Shmobs?
Maybe.
It just sounds like it's like a term that you shouldn't be saying. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Well,
Maybe derogatory? I don't know.
when you do both of them together, they sound very like, whoa, that's questionable.
welcome to Ready, Set, Gamecast, a bi-weekly podcast about video games and my fancy new bidet. I'm Bryce, and I'm joined by a man who fears water in his downtown, Teddy Chinaris.
Hey, you don't know.
And
You don't know what I fear up there. What's up? Welcome. Hello. This is Teddy Chinaris.
His downtown.
yeah.
I
What'd you-
got it. I thought you meant like
fear it
city.
in yours? Why would
No.
I care though?
No, it's Teddy's
okay.
downtown is the way I was.
No, I don't. I fear nothing.
And voted most likely to use a bidet, it's Matt.
Yeah, I mean, why not get clean?
Dude.
Do you have one?
I do not have one.
I have just procured one. Well, technically what happened is I got home from work and the girlfriend was
I bought a bidet.
90%. Well, no, I purchased it and stuff, and it was like, here's the bidet. We'll deal with this later. And then I come home from work. I think she was trying to be real like cool and stuff and set it up, but I come home and she's just like, oh god, this is the water is everything, and I'm like, okay, maybe
Water is everything. Like,
things
so
were
it's working.
Water is everything.
Water was places where it was not supposed to be. It was on the floor and stuff, and I was
Like a butt.
Okay.
yeah, I was kind of thinking like, oh, maybe this should have been a group activity, but
Let's
we
all
we
Try out
We're
the
gonna have a
bidet
bidet
together.
party. We're gonna get together. We're gonna set this thing up, and we can each try it out.
yeah, and so we got that set up and we tried it out, but like there was apparently like a small leak, and I tried to fix it last night at like 10 or 11 o'clock, and then I broke the fill tank on the actual toilet, and so it was real bad, and the girlfriend was like, you have to call the landlord, which, side note, the landlord is a girl from my high school class, and I don't want to have that conversation. So I drove to Walmart and I learned how to replace a fill tank. and now the bidet is fully running without mostly leaks. There's like one thing that is wet, but we're like, maybe it was always wet. Maybe that's just how it is.
What is wet that shouldn't be wet? There's always.
So, okay. It's the fill tank, which puts the water into the toilet tank.
Yep.
Connects to that is the bidet adapter that came with the bidet, and that connects to the hose that runs like from the water valve thing, because the water valve thing used to run directly to the fill tank, but now we put a little adapter because that splits off to where the bidet connects. The hose is the very bottom hose thing is the thing that's slightly wet.
Oh, okay.
Because it used to be before I replaced the fill tank, it was wet up top, but I think there was an issue with that where maybe it wasn't a tight seal, and replacing everything's dry now. We're good there. But down there it's wet. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just did a lot of stuff and things are more dry than they used to be. Let's just spray our butts with water and do it. But oh my god. Okay. Bidet review. Very good. Like, I used to go through so much TP.
That's toilet paper.
Yeah.
For kids out
For the
there.
uninitiated.
But that thing completely clean. I use TP, but just to dry it off, because there's nothing there. It's what I will say. One of the Pro Strat. It took me at least one try to figure out. You gotta kind of like ride the beast a little bit. You gotta like let it do its thing. Maybe move back and forth a little bit and get a clear shot at the goods. But after that, it's
I'm
real
good,
quick.
yo. I'm good on that.
Wow. Speaking of bathroom fixtures, I cut a hole in my bathroom wall today and
Why?
put a box that is a shelf into it and put the hole back together, and now it's a wall again with a shelf inset.
Do you own your home?
I do.
Okay.
Yes. I'm allowed
Nah,
to
I'm just
cut
renting the
holes in
place.
walls.
They'll be fine with it. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely like when I was replacing the fill valve, it's like this is probably a thing for landlord, but I don't want to interact with them. Even like
Yeah, I feel like dodge it in
yeah.
that way.
I mean, especially like before when it was just a random old lady, that was like, okay, now that it's someone I actually know, I'm sure as hell not going to tell them I broke the, the
Hey man, you're
toilet
giving
trying-
them money. You are paying them for this shit. That's their job.
Yeah. As soon as I can buy a home, I'm out of here. But that's probably going to be a bit. Homes are expensive. But you know
Just
what?
need that. Sorry, I'm done.
But you know
I was gonna tell you to buy a house with this in it.
what?
Just need 3.5% down. You can do it.
Okay.
All right.
But you know what's also expensive? Video games.
They are.
Teddy Chinaris, what have you been playing?
Oh, not much. Pretty much the same thing as last time. I haven't really touched Stardew since last time we talked here. You and me, chat, viewers, listeners, you and me. Since the last time we had a real conversation. Haven't really touched Stardew. I opened up Katana Zero a little bit. I literally only played for like 20 minutes. But like I saw the opening and whatnot because I have that game. I've wanted to play it, but that shit's so cool. Like first impressions, real cool. Like the when you go into the menus, there's like a VC, like it looks like a VCR. Like it's such a cool effect. Yeah, so far from the basics of that, I feel like I would love that game if I could have more time with it. Still going through, I actually have continued going through some Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That game is awesome, and I really want to beat it real bad, because lately I'm in that phase where I just keep rewatching clips from old Assassin's Creed games because I fucking miss the Ezio collection so bad, and then I go... And then I'm like, do I want to just go back and play the Ezio collection? Then I'm like, no, Teddy, you need to stop being so nostalgic all the time. You gotta live in the present and find new things that you like, right? You gotta find new things, you know? So I do really love Odyssey, but I've been very nostalgic about Ezio recently. Like I'm watching the ending of Revelations like every other day. I'm just like, whoo! The moment he walks in and he sees Altair and he's like, no books, no wisdom, just you. It's so good. It's great. The music kicks up. It's great.
What's the one where the guy in the present dies?
Desmond.
That's
That is
3.
Desmond, and that is 3. And that is when they fucked up that modern day story because everybody hated the modern day story except for me. I really liked it. And then
Same.
everybody else really like the. Maybe not even everybody else. Maybe it's that vocal minority, you know? And they were all like, boo, modern day sucks, take it out of the game. So they basically like minimized it as much as possible. So in Black Flag and Rogue, it was like, there actually was a modern day story in those games, but you had to search it out. Like you had to find it. They took out any like protagonist, but then in Origins, they added a new protagonist, and in Odyssey, there is a new modern day protagonist, and like there are characters that are continuing from Origins, and like there is not a lot of time, like all things considered, but they do spend some time in the modern day, and I'm like, oh shit. Please do it well this time. Let's go. Because I'm really enjoying it.
The Abstergo stuff is what really hooked me from
Yeah,
those
me,
games.
me too.
Yeah,
and,
I love it.
And with the end of 3, I was kind of like, oh.
It was at
This
the
is-
beginning of
yeah.
3, wasn't it?
No, it's the end. It's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
end,
was
yeah.
it?
Yeah, because 3, the modern day stuff you spend in like that temple, and you're like fighting with your dad the whole time.
Okay.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. Yeah. But yeah, the Revelations ends. Oh my god. I'm not gonna talk about this forever, but I love this shit. But one of the best moments in gaming for me personally, genuinely is at the end when Ezio, he does find Altair. That's a really cool moment. And then he like goes to the back of the room and it like opens up a secret doorway and there's another apple of Eden. He's like another apple, and then he's like, no, I've seen enough for one life. And then like it does the little, it's like the modern day thing where there's like the like hieroglyphs and stuff in the air and it kind of shakes and he like hears it and he's like looking around and he goes, Desmond. And Desmond, straight up, you hear a narration of Nolan North being like, is he talking to me? And he's like, and he goes on this whole speech of like, he didn't know what he was doing this for, but now he realizes that he's been doing this to get his message across to you. Like, it's so good. But then in 3, they're like, yeah, no, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But yeah, I really do like Odyssey. And so... One thing about Odyssey that I am hopeful about the modern day is the fact that like in Odyssey there's like 3, when you click on like the main story, there's like 3 main stories. There's like the family, which is like kind of the main story for Cassandra, and the other dude that you can pick, but most people don't play the dude. And then there's like the cultist story, which is like another main, and then there's like the legacy story or something like that. And that's like the modern day. Like, so the modern day storyline is its own main storyline. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they actually do something cool with it. So I've been enjoying it. Been also playing some Overwatch every now and then. I appreciate you guys for letting me indulge myself and letting me fanboy out over Revelations because I love that shit so much. It's so
I don't know. It's interesting to hear where it was at because I fell off after I played. I don't know, I was really hooked Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, and then through the Ezio trilogy there, I started to just get kind of bored of, like, it felt samey at a point after 3 games. It definitely is
gameplay-wise, for sure. Yeah. 2 Brotherhood and Revelations are awesome, and it's probably... I bought the 3 Ezio games and 1, like, the summer before Assassin's Creed 3 was coming out. So I literally just played through all of them in the summer. It was awesome. So it wasn't, for me as somebody who just played them back to back, there was like enough changes in between. So like the story had such an impact because I played it back to back too. But yeah, if you have not, Matt, you need to go watch the ending to Revelations because they do connect all of it. It's incredible.
I think I did because what's the American Revolution one?
That's 3.
That's 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
It goes 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and then 3.
Okay, so maybe I didn't finish Revelations, and I started... Because I got bored at a point. I fell off, played Brotherhood, didn't finish Revelations.
Then you have enough knowledge to just watch the ending, and that would...
We're about the movie, Teddy.
For the story.
Where does the movie fall in the timeline?
We don't talk about the movie. The movie... For the past stuff, took place in, like, Ezio's time period, but it was in, like, Spain. Which was a thing where I'm like, oh, shit, Ezio straight up could make a fucking appearance. Like, this is when he's alive. And then they're like, yeah, no. No, we're not going to do that. That would be cool. But, yeah, no, that wasn't even the movie's... The movie had many other problems, just in that it wasn't good. But straight up I would find the ending on YouTube and just watch like the last 15 minutes of Revelations. It's so great, like how they connect it. But yeah, and a little bit of Overwatch because the Overwatch League has been a lot of fun. I currently have that up on another monitor right now, keeping tabs. Toronto Defiant is playing Philadelphia Fusion right now. Fusion is up 2-0 against Toronto. We'll see how that goes.
Who's the good one?
I want Philly to win between those two. So
Philly won the first year, right?
Yeah, I think so. Philly's just really fun to watch. I just really like them because they have Poco and Carpe are both super fun to watch.
Do they say funny words when they shoot people?
Sure. I'm sure they do. Maybe not all the time.
What makes them fun to watch?
Oh, just like Poco
you don't get to
plays.
Hear them.
Yeah, no, you don't hear him. Yeah, Poco plays a lot of D.Va, and he's really good with D.Va bombs. Like he gets a lot of crazy like ultimate kills, and I play D.Va, so that's fun for me. And then
Teddy's a diva.
I am. I'm such a diva.
I feel like Diva has to be like the most most well-known character. Yeah, probably most played.
Other than Tracer, I feel like Diva's the second most like iconic kind of Overwatch character.
Tracer's like on the box, but I feel like I see more people talk about Diva. I see more Diva,
especially when it comes to just playing. Like when it comes to Diva mains, Yeah, look at Tracer on that box.
Like going to cons, I see plenty of Divas. I don't know if I've maybe seen one or two Tracers.
That's because everybody likes doing the
bodysuit.
Yeah, the bodysuit out of mech diva, right?
Yeah,
it's just like a onesie.
Yeah, it's easy. It sounds comfortable, to be honest. Like,
yeah, you put on some headphones with some little points, and you wear that, and you're good. It's like Zero Suit Samus.
Becker's cosplay did that at one of the cons we went to.
I love Diva. Diva was the character I played a bunch when I first started, and when I first started too, she was in a spot in the meta where she was super strong. Like she was really OP. So I started and immediately was just killing. It was great.
Was that like triple tank?
I think
era?
So.
Okay.
I think it was even a little bit before that. I'm not sure.
That's when I reached my highest rank in Overwatch, and I haven't played in a while.
Yeah. I'm very casually playing. Like I will literally get on for 30 minutes to an hour and play quick play. And I'm like, it's fun. Because I just haven't really had an FPS in a bit. And what else was I gonna say about that? And Carpe. Carpe's fun to watch because he's a really good like DPS player. So he plays like McCree and he plays a lot of Widow. A lot of
Widowmaker.
Really good
sniper, right?
And he gets fucking insane snipes. It's ridiculous. Like last week he like switched to Widowmaker at the end when they were almost about to lose, and he like came in and killed like fucking 4 people and won the game. It was ridiculous. It was like an awesome clutch play. But yeah.
Matt, are you able to identify this character for me?
Yeah, it's Spectre Knight.
How are you familiar with this character?
It's Spectre Knight from Shovel Knight, and I've been playing Shovel Knight somewhat on and off for years now.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Well, let's see. This morning, I actually finished the Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment DLC.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't even know if it's DLC. It's a campaign, single player campaign for Shovel Knight.
Is it a standalone?
I don't know that any of them are standalone because of how Shovel Knight came into existence. So Shovel Knight, maybe you could buy Shovel Knight standalone with just the first campaign, but I don't even think that's true anymore. Because Shovel Knight started as a Kickstarter, and as they hit milestones in that they were promising, okay, we'll do a campaign for Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, and King Knight as well.
Yeah.
And King of Cards just released like less than a month ago, and that's the final single player campaign for the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove collection.
Are these like updates or are they DLC? Because I feel like DLC defines you have to pay for it.
They're updates. I think at whatever breaking point there was, probably 2 years ago, I think they started everything that was Shovel Knight was then part of the Treasure Trove. So if you go buy Shovel Knight right now, it's like $25, I'm sure, is the full price. And that includes 4 single player campaigns. That includes their stage fighter game that they have that's like almost like a Smash Bros style fighting game.
I've seen that. I always assumed that was a separate game.
Yeah, that's included in the Treasure Trove. And then also like whatever, challenge modes and new game pluses and that kind of stuff. So if that's ever on sale, the Treasure Trove, you get, 4 single player campaigns. The base Shovel Knight's probably 6 to 8 hours depending on what you're doing. I think Spectre of Torment's actually the shortest. I think it took me like 5 hours, and I just did that one this morning. Or actually, I did it. I've been playing it for like 2 weeks. I just finished it this morning. But yeah, that one's the most story heavy, I think, or from what I've played so far. It's a prequel to the events in Shovel Knight. So in Shovel Knight, you are Shovel Knight trying to save your friend Shield Knight from the Enchantress. And you have to fight the other knights who are of the Order of No Quarter. and there are 8 of them. So you go to each of their stages, and then you have a boss fight against them. In Spectre of Torment, it's a prequel to all that, so you learn kind of how the Enchantress came into power and recruited all of her 8 Order of No Quarter Knights.
Did they enchant them?
Yeah, she kind of did. She kind of like stole their power, though. I feel like there was like a. It wasn't really she was enchanting them as much as like gathering power from them. It felt like, but it's pretty neat. What's the other one? Plague of Shadows. That was the other one I played. That was probably a year ago that I played that one. And in that one, it runs simultaneously the same time as Shovel Knight. So that one's kind of interesting because it's like you're always just missing him or something like that in that story. And then, yeah, King of Cards just came out, and that one I'm probably going to play pretty soon because that's kind of why I played Spectre of Torment. Yeah, King Knight. He's a king. That's a knight. But he's not actually a king. I think he just thinks he's a king.
That's
if you want a like way better summation of Shovel Knight, there's a no clip video that they released probably in the last 2 weeks, like no clip documentaries. Awesome. But it's just like one of the developers kind of running through them, just like I did, but in a more knowledgeable sense.
Yeah.
Like
we
wanted
made them. We know what they're about.
Yeah, I think in Spectre Knight they talked about kind of being inspired by Prince of Persia, and how the line for that one was, "We just wanted to make you feel cool." And so like you have a wall climb and kind of a dash attack in the air. So the mobility is really cool in Spectre Knight, and I think I've heard multiple people say that one's their favorite, whether it's for the story or whether it's for the action. But it's definitely the shortest one too. So, yeah.
Any other gamings that you've played? I don't have amiibos for any other options you have. But.
Yeah, how do you not have Tetramino?
I think no. I think at one point I had magnets of Tetraminos, but I don't. That would be crazy. I'm sure someone has probably made a custom amiibo of a Tetramino.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, Tetris 99. I played that's like Teddy's been playing Overwatch 30 minutes at a time. That's like what I do with Tetris. It's just like, okay, I'm on the couch, have my Switch out, just play a couple games, get in, get out.
Have you played Tetris Effect?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that's the one
I wanted to play.
I got VR for that. That's a real cool in VR.
I'd check it out, yeah, if I had VR.
So, okay, because that was going to be my comparison of like, have you gone all the way through Tetris Effect? Because, yeah, Tetris 99, because it's multiplayer, you can't really be like, oh, yeah, I'm real good at it because it's all about who you're playing with.
Right.
But because there's the mode where you're like playing against people who have also won.
Right. I think I tried that once and got my butt whooped.
Oh. Yeah, dude, that would be insane. That's on hard mode, you know?
Yeah. I think I came in the 70s or 80s when I played in like the winter only room.
That is how I sit when I play the normal mode.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this isn't fun. And then immediately went back.
That's why I only play standard Tetris 99 and haven't really played that. I only played
I'd say I've been doing okay in standard. They had a Maximus Cup not that long ago, and it was they had fixed it so that the points accrued the whole time, and you could basically, whoever had the most points at the end would earn, Nintendo Gold or something like that.
Cash money.
So it kept people around for the whole weekend for that event, which I just wanted to like get the 100 points or whatever because I thought I was going to get a theme, but I don't think there was a theme attached. Maybe I got an icon or something. I don't even remember, but I was excited to get my 100 points and get out. And it took me way longer than it normally does for any of those other events. Like the other events, they'll do it like, yeah, once you get the 100 points, you've earned everything you can here. You've got the new, you got like the Luigi's Mansion theme or something like that. So people don't really stick around in those, I think. But since this one was an accruing points one, every time I played, it was just like, this is so hard. and I can only get like 3 points at a time. I'm trying to get to 100.
Damn.
But Tetris 99 or not? Tetris is one of those games that has just lasted a very long time, just because it's
perfect.
Yeah,
Some people call it one of the greatest games of all time.
I feel like
that's what I hear.
You could definitely argue that.
Yeah.
Would you say that Overland is one of the greatest games that's ever been played?
I wish I played Overland more than I do. I booted up like, I don't know. I think I booted up like twice in 2 or 3 weeks and then played for a little bit until I died and was like, well, that was my run. Okay, cool. Made it almost to the next biome, but I died in the first chapter again. All right, maybe I'll try later. Yeah.
What is Overland? I don't know anything about it.
It's a I don't know if a 4X strategy is technically the right term for it, but it is like a grid-based strategy game.
Okay, you're speaking my language.
I would call it more of a roguelike.
It is definitely roguelike in that regard. Yeah, it's it's run based, it's permadeath. You can build up a party of survivors as you are traveling from east to west across the US.
It's a road trip.
It is a road trip.
So there's only a few, like, I do enjoy strategy games, but there are some that I enjoy much more than others. One of my favorite fucking strategy games is Into the Breach. I love Into the Breach. I've always wanted to play that. And that is very much like a permadeath, grid-based strategy game.
I feel like it'd be similar to that.
Yeah, I almost think they have, like, visually are similar in setup, where you're playing on these little square islands.
Yeah.
Like each stage is that, but they're randomly generated, I think, for Overland. I usually run into the problem where I am now surrounded by the alien enemies, and seemingly one of my only options is ramming them with my car, but then my car catches on fire, and then it blows up and everybody dies, and that's the end of my run. That's like usually how my run is.
Yeah.
I've wanted to play that game, especially as a stream game, because that does have stream integrations where people in your stream can appear as survivors that can join you.
That's cool.
So that'd be cool to be like, hey, you just died because I had to sacrifice you. But I love that in The Last of Us multiplayer, where you could like connect your Facebook and then like your Facebook friends would show up and be like, oh yeah, I didn't have medicine, so
or this person died.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
It definitely makes like the stakes feel higher when you're seeing someone's name that you actually know there. But yeah, the art style of Overland has always looked really cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
But you haven't made it like too far in terms of length of game?
I think I made it almost to the third biome. I think there's 5. I'm not really sure though. I think I made it to the 3rd chapter once, or just before it, and died.
So that game has an undo button where you can, if you're like, oh, that didn't go well, maybe I should try something else. So I've heard of people playing it like a puzzle game. Do you play it like that, or do you play it where you just gotta accept it?
Maybe I should. I treat it in general like a puzzle game, I guess. Like each stage is more or less a puzzle, but I don't use the undo button very often, unless it was like I'm trying to do something specific, like I want to place some gear I'm holding onto my car or something like that, and whatever I did, I either like moved somewhere else and it didn't do what I just walked up next to my car and I didn't place my gear, and I was like, that's not what I wanted, undo, but I haven't been like, run up and attack the alien. Oh, the alien killed me. Undo. You know?
Is there like random rolls to it at all where like, you attack and it could do more damage or less, or do you always know what's going to happen when you do something?
I don't know that I've played it enough to say that, I've only really done like a handful of runs in it. But it seems pretty consistent, like telling you how much energy something's going to use up or that kind of thing. Each character has like natures to them. Or like traits. So I had a dog that was like very wise or something like that. I don't know that like what that contributes to, whether they find better loot when they like search a dumpster or something or not.
Wise dogs, man. Maybe they just know not to eat their own poop. Maybe. That's it.
I think the dog should be able to drive the car.
Yeah, the dogs can't drive the car. Dogs are hard mode, by the way, because they can only like carry stuff. I don't think they actually attack. Like if you have a dog with a knife, I don't think he can actually attack. Can't drive the car. Only has 1 gear slot as opposed to 2 by default.
But they're just so dang cute.
Yeah, I don't think I could fill gas into my car with a dog. It was like I picked up the dog because I thought it was cool, and then by the time when I was like, okay, I need to do these things, I was like, oh, this dog's useless. Oh shit, no,
Shit.
this is it for me.
Could you pet
But
the
I have
dog?
a dog friend.
Yeah, I believe you can pet the dog.
Oh hell yeah! That's my one gripe about Odyssey. You can't pet any of the animals, and it's very upsetting. In Assassin's Creed 3, you could pet all the animals. You can go up and pet a cow. You can pet a chicken. You could but with some of them, you'd toss them food. And with some of them, you'd pet them. It was great. And now there's dogs and cats running all over ancient Greece, and I can't pet them. It's upsetting.
Man.
What have you been playing Overland on? What's your
Switch. I've been playing everything that I talked about on Switch.
Switch is wonderful.
Because it's beautiful.
Yeah, Switch seems like the perfect place to play Overland. Just 'cause...
Yeah, play it on the go. Yeah, just on a...
It's a wonderful device, y'all. Play Switch more.
It saves your runs too. You can pause in the middle of a run and continue later, so that's nice.
Yeah. It is my turn to talk about video game experiences.
Yeah, do it.
And
Bryce, tell us what you've been playing.
I've been playing a game on the Switch. It's called Stardew Valley. We are...
Uh-oh, Teddy got him.
You got me excited, that's all. I'm amped. Let's go.
I haven't played
that
as
game.
much since last time. Life's been busy installing bidets and stuff. But
like you
Real
do.
life Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
We're actually arguably in the end game because Grandpa came back.
No spoilers.
I didn't know that.
If you go if you go to his grave, he'll be like, "Hey, I'll come back at the beginning of year 3." I actually I thought it was the end of year 3, so I was like, "Okay, we got another year
to too.
But no, it's the very first day, literally when it rolls over. It's the first. So I was like, "Oh, I guess we don't have enough time." But I guess
don't tell me what happens, okay?
Well, yeah, I won't tell you what happens, but I was reading stuff and it just said if you get 100 points of something, I didn't look up how you accrue the points. I guess the only one, because I was looking up the dog. I was going to see if there's literally anything you can do with the dog other than just make it happy. And I guess making your dog happy will give you points towards
happiness,
towards your grandpa's wishes. But if you get 100 points, and I don't know how you achieve those, then he will say he's proud of you. And
are they hidden stats?
Yeah, they're hidden.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Unless you look on the Wikipedia, it seems like you have no idea what they are.
Okay.
So you just
I want to make Grandpa proud.
I gotta get into my PC save of that because I think I went through one full year and I made a real effort to complete the community center. So I think I was in early year 2.
Yeah, I'm
sure had the community center done.
I'm sure the community center probably gives you a decent amount of points towards it.
Yeah.
And so I already mentioned it to Teddy that after the community center, there's another thing that's similar to that, and we actually have one thing left on that. And it's one of the deals of it is you need 5 gold star ancient seeds. And so
damn,
we have the seed where they're planted. They have the best fertilizer. If those grow out to gold, we'll be able to complete that, and we'll see what that is. But
how many did you plant?
We literally have just enough to do it because ancient seeds are hard to come by. But we have a seed maker thing, so if they don't come out to gold, we can just turn them into seeds again and try again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But so we've got the deal of reach. I have a goal thing. The dude sent me a deal of reach floor 100 of the desert mines, and that's definitely going to be a challenge because there's no.
Say you did it, and I was like,
no,
whoa.
because there's no elevator to it. You just go down.
You have to go down every time?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. So what I've actually been doing is I've just been stockpiling rocks because with 99 rocks you can build stairs that allow you to drop on the floor.
Oh,
so I'm gonna
yeah.
just try and stockpile 100 of them,
Yeah, that's a good
and
call.
then
That's a
just
good call.
bop all the way down. Yeah.
Fucking cheater.
Yeah. Well, I literally don't know how you could do it in one day without.
You just have to get really lucky on hitting the rocks and getting the stairs. And you'd have to like try and avoid fighting as much as possible. You just get there, start looking for the stairs, you know?
I mean, even I have an iridium pickaxe, so that makes it, and the rocks in the desert are harder. That you have to have.
Yeah.
Oh
they like
God.
take more hits. You need to have a better pickaxe.
Aren't there holes in the ground in those mines?
Yeah, there are holes, so you can randomly drop like 8 floors or something. But the problem with those are you jump into them, you'll take damage. So it's a risk
I think
reward.
I was doing that.
So you gotta just stockpile a bunch of food too.
Right.
You could also
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, there's actually cactuses on the way, like in the desert, that do give you good health. So I've been trying to grab those. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna want the food that'll give you good attack, that'll give you good mining and stuff, so that you can do that damage. Because the monsters in the desert are crazy strong. There's a special sword that I just found because like I had the strongest sword that you can buy in the shop, and that was I was barely getting by, and then I found a thing, and they were like, "Oh, take this to this place and do this thing," and I'm like, "Okay," and then they gave me a sword. I'm like, "Good," because I'm barely surviving in there, and even that, it still takes a few swings to take out some of these guys. So there's some goals that I have in it, and obviously marry Abigail.
Of course.
But I feel like I'm kind of reaching my end of time with Stardew. We've been playing the multiplayer, so we'll probably keep doing that.
I mean, that's impressive that you've even gotten that far. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and with an upcoming game, which we'll talk about soon, I'm pretty sure I'm losing my girlfriend to it. That our time with Stardew Valley will end once that game comes out. I've been playing Pokemon Crystal, which is the like second gen.
Suicune.
Yeah, the third version of the second gen Game Boy game. Obviously, on the 3DS store, it's a virtual console type deal. But I've been playing that because you can actually take the Pokemon from that to the new games.
Is that the earliest one?
I think you can get Red and Blue. I think you get Virtual Console Red and Blue that'll do it. I just happened to go to download Pokemon Bank, and it said, "Hey, here's Pokemon Crystal, and you can take the Pokemon from here to the new stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, that would be really cool to be able to have a Pokemon and take it from Crystal." And then what I'm actually thinking of doing is getting X and Y. Well, get one of them, transfer it from there to X and Y. I can't confirm that's for sure. I know that you can take them to Sun and Moon. I don't know about X and Y, but I feel like it should work.
Yeah.
And then make them champions in there. Then pop them into Sun and Moon, make them champions there.
Oh, that's fun.
Then bring them over to Sword and Shield, making them champions there. So they'll just have ribbons of just like champion, champion, champion. Also, I'm from the Game Boy, BDW. That'll be really cute.
So are you playing it on Game Boy or Virtual Console?
I'm playing on Virtual Console because you can't get your save from, to my knowledge. Yeah, I think there's videos out there of like, here's how to transfer your thing from way back when. Also, I think the earliest you can do is Game Boy Advance, and you need like 17 pieces of hardware to pull it off. You need like a GameCube, an N64, an Advance that has a Game Boy slot. It's a whole thing.
The early Advances did, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Now,
yeah.
I guess Advance in general must have been able to take Game Boy games.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's
with link cables.
Yeah, there's videos
Advance.
out there how to do it, but you would have to have the hardware to make it possible. And I don't even. I was actually like, oh, that could be really cool. But then I looked in like what it shows in Pokemon Sword and Shield, because you can look on the stats and it'll be like, oh, you got them from this place or whatever. And like if you bring a Pokemon from Pokemon Crystal to Sword and Shield because I have tested that out. It'll be like, this Pokemon was originally from long ago in the Kanto region, kind of indicating that like this is from the Game Boy, and it'll have a Game Boy symbol next to it. But I think the ones that you transfer using this crazy method, it's just like this Pokemon was far away and long ago. So it's like it doesn't even tell you. It doesn't
even know.
Yeah, it's like I didn't expect anybody to do this.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
because if I could take like red and blue cartridge and
yeah. I think if you like hack things together, I think it's technically possible to do original, but you'd have to have like a modded DS. But yeah, so I've been messing around with Crystal. That game is hard. Like Sword and Shield is a cakewalk compared to this. Because it doesn't tell you have to base it like it's like, would you like to learn this move? And I'm like, I don't know what it does or if it's stronger or what the stats are on this. Sure. And then also I'm on, I think it's like the 3rd gym, and it's a ghost gym, and I have just been grinding and grinding and grinding because the guy has 4 Pokemon. The gym leader has 4 Pokemon. His 3rd Pokemon is a Gengar, and that freaking thing will hypnosis my dude's first turn and then Sleep Eater them, KOing them before I can even do shit. And
damn.
And I tried putting out my Haunter, and then he'll throw Shadow Ball at it, KOing him. I'm just getting my ass handed to me. This is the 3rd gym. I'm just in there grinding like crazy, just trying to take out this guy's 3rd Pokemon. I have no idea what his 4th Pokemon is. I can't even get past his Gengar. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But,
oh boy.
Me and Teddy talked about this last time. I'm guessing Teddy did not get to it. I've been playing Temtem. I loaded up Temtem. That game also quite hard. Honestly, it's so hard that I think they like try to show you how hard it is by the very first battle. Like they'll give you your Temtem and then you fight your trainer. And this trainer is supposed to, or you'll fight your rival, and I think it's supposed to be like a blue type situation where he's a dick, and he kicks your ass. I don't think it matters which starter you pick. He already has a starter that is better, that is like strong to anything you have. He effed me over in 2 shots. I barely did anything to him, and I was like, okay. So, and everything is a double battle. So, whenever you're going out, your first 2 are happening. Sometimes in the wild, you'll encounter a single Temtem, but for the most part, it's always 2v2. The art style is cute. You're always seeing people run around. That stuff's kind of cute. My problem with it, it is really, really hard, but also I have a lot of trouble figuring out what's strong against what. Like they do have fire, water, and nature, which I think is supposed to be grass. But then there's digital, there's crystal, there's like...
Can I just throw this out here? Fun fact, as somebody who did not grow up with Pokemon and whatnot, when I started playing Pokemon, I also had this trouble, and it's one of the reasons why I stopped. Because but for a lot of people, Pokemon, like I remember playing, I think it was Let's Go on stream one time, and I was like, oh, so I was trying to figure out like, oh, so this guy's this type, this guy that I have is this type, what's strong he has, and Zyger was in my chat like, I'm mad. I was like, oh, this one's strong against this, of course, and I was like, how the fuck would I know that? He's like, oh, you just figured it out, and I was like, is it anywhere in the game? He's like, oh no. I'm like,
I will say, 2 things about that. A lot of the Pokemon, because the types are kind of like simple, like rock and stuff like that, you can kind of do some mental math to be like...
Absolutely. At the beginning, too, when there weren't too many generations of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But now when there's like 900, there's a lot of different types. And it's hard to figure out what a fairy is going to do against the grass. Like, why would that make any sense?
I always have to look that up. Of like, fairy
just
like,
exists to counter dragon, right?
Yeah, dragons always like, what? I don't know about you.
Well, because like dragons didn't have a counter, so they added fairy and X and Y, I think.
I mean, it makes sense. It's just, and I totally get like understanding it. Like, there's a like I was totally willing to like have the chart up and try and learn it.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where I was like, it's okay, so it's not even in the game either.
Well, no, see, I will say in the newer games, I think this is both. I think it's in Sun and Moon, in Let's Go, and in Sword and Shield, that once you battle a Pokemon,
it will tell you.
Yeah, it'll tell you. So for
when
the first,
you're fighting, but you can't like find a chart or any of this info outside of fights.
Yeah.
That's just on the internet.
Well, sure, but why would you need to know it outside of fights?
Because I want to,
like set up your team.
I guess plan for your team.
Yeah, set up your team and whatnot. Yeah, but yeah, that's just a minor thing. But it's like with Temtem, I'm just throwing that out there for some perspective.
Yeah,
it's like, for people who didn't grow up with Pokemon, it was the same way. Like I'm sure it's just as like I don't know, hard to learn the matchups and whatnot. So like it's probably just something you'd get with time.
Maybe, yeah. But I will say I wish they did have that thing that the new Pokemon games have, where it does.
I'm surprised it doesn't.
It does, because there's times that I'm like, it doesn't tell me what type of move it is, for one. I don't know if Temtems can learn moves that aren't their type. But there will be times that it's like, oh, this did double damage. I'm like, cool. I will do that again.
I guess I'll try and remember that.
Yeah,
that was me with Pokemon, man. It was like this was effective. This was starting. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll try and lock that away.
Yeah.
How many Temtem are there
in total? I'm not sure.
And how is learning them in general going?
So currently there are 8. It says there are 86 known Temtems, although their total number is up to 161. I'm guessing that means that there's 86 in the game, but there will eventually be.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, that makes me want to play it so much harder. Because like I'm so much of a completionist that like when I hear Pokemon that there's like over 700 and whatnot, I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna do that. But in Temtem, I hear that. I hear like 86 to 100. I'm like, oh, I could probably get all this.
And there is 12 types. There is fire, nature, water, electric, mental,
that
earth.
Sounds great. There's only 12.
Wind, crystal, digital, melee, toxic. See, digital.
That is a very odd one to just have melee. To be honest, the rest.
I mean, that's like Pokemon has fighting, right?
That's so weird. Because they're all fighting.
I guess crystal's supposed to be like rock, and then earth would be like ground.
Yeah.
And then digital is the new one.
That's fine.
Like,
that makes sense to me.
Digital? Like, I got you. I'm guessing electric would be good against digital. If I'm like, I feel like there should be some mental math some you should connection. Be able to do.
Yeah.
Just be like, what would be logically good against this?
Yeah.
But yeah, digital is like
I want to play it.
I mean, didn't you buy it?
It is. I bought it, yeah, and it is on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was, but I have it on my computer. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe I thought he said, "Did you download it?" I was like, "It is. Yeah. It's on my computer." I don't know, but yeah, it's. I replaced my hard drive. That's something I did in the last 2 weeks. So I had to re-download like everything. So it's on here now. It is on my computer. It is ready to go. So just like the 6 MMOs that I downloaded.
You're a monster. Oh, bro, my goodness.
I downloaded Destiny 2, which I'm going to count. I downloaded Elder Scrolls Online, Lord of the Rings Online, Neverwinter, because fuck it, maybe I want to try that again someday. Star Wars The Old Republic, and Guild Wars 2. So I have at least 6.
I feel like you've made some good choices, though. Like those are.
I know my MMOs. I have tried those and many others, and those are the ones that stick with me, at least. Other than Neverwinter, like ESO is awesome, and I genuinely do go back to that game a lot.
What is it? Phantasy Star? Are you gonna get into that?
I could try it. I mean, it's like I do with almost every MMO. I give it a shot. I like playing MMOs and seeing what they do different to each other. You know, like Star Wars: The Old Republic, I have on my computer because every now and then I crave some Star Wars, and I can go and just be a Jedi.
Teddy should start a MMO podcast that's just talking about MMOs and the differences and
be like, here's the one we're playing for the month.
Yeah, here's this one.
It's an MMO book club. Yeah. See how far I can get. That's not a bad idea for.
Well, if you're not playing Temtem and you do want to play Pokemon games, there's a new service, a new device. Also, this is the news. I feel like we need
to the news.
Also, this is the news.
Yeah, I feel like
we're in the news now, guys. Hello.
Matt was suggesting that we might have clear differentiations from where things start and end.
We need a little jingle. Yeah, this is the news. This is totally a jingle I stole from somebody.
Video editor, cut that out. That's a new jingle.
That's copyright. I'm sorry.
I can play when we
copyright.
do it. No, your specific voice tones make it a new material.
Oh yeah, of course.
What's news, Bryce?
Well, Pokemon Home was launched. It is a new device that allows you to transfer Pokemon from past games to other games. Well, basically to Sword and Shield, because that is everything goes to Sword and Shield. You can take things back, like you can take a Pokemon from Let's Go and put it back to Let's Go, but the second it touches Sword and Shield, it lives there. You can't send them back. So you can kind of bank them and bring them back and forth, but after that, it's there. But yeah, you can take if you have Pokemon Bank, which I think for a little bit longer, I don't know when this podcast comes out, it might no longer be true. They did do a month free of Pokemon Bank, which is the old service that on the DS would allow you to transfer Pokemon out. That can be linked to Pokemon Home and bring Pokemon from past games to the current device. But what's cool about Home is that it both is on your Switch, but it's also on your phone, so that you can do trades and stuff. Like you can have a bunch of Pokemon in Home and go to a con or something and just trade Pokemon on your phone, or just set it up of like, hey, they have a trading service in Pokemon Home where you can say, hey, I'm looking for this type of Pokemon. And then somebody with that type of Pokemon can be like, here you go, and you trade. There, you can just you don't have to be like, hey, on Twitter, can someone help me out? Like, I feel like someone who's looking to complete their Pokedex is going to have such an easy time now. Also,
that's a cool thing. Like, I don't know, that like fulfills the Pokedex promise of Pokemon, I guess, when you see what the Pokedex is in the world and like that sort of thing.
And people who complete their Pokedex, I think, do get a special complete their big Pokedex in Pokemon Home, do get gifted a special Pokemon. Like it's a special color scheme. Obviously, you'd already have.
Like not a shiny or
it looks like a Pokeball. Apparently, it was seen in one of the movies, but that never in a game.
It's called a Voltorb.
Yeah. So along with that, you can now put Pokemon in Sword and Shield that were not previously in it, like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander is already there. But yeah, because what actually happens is when you launch Pokemon Home, they of course go like, hey, to start, here's a Pokemon, and you get to pick from Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander. And so then I had that, and then when I was looking at transferring stuff, it was like, oh, would you like to transfer this Bulbasaur into Sword and Shield? I'm like, yes. And now I've got a Venusaur in Sword and Shield, and not every Pokemon can transfer yet. I think we're gonna have to wait for the DLCs, which are obviously gonna add more.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, does that those Pokemon weren't in, so they've patched the game to have those Pokemon, and then as they keep patching with the DLCs and things,
more stuff will get added in. I think I know I brought my starter from Sun and Moon over, so I imagine probably every starter is, and I know the legendaries from Sun and Moon can also go over. So I don't know what the list is. I'm sure you can look at which ones were added, but there's some new Pokemon that weren't originally in there. But also, if you look in your Pokedex and Sword and Shield, they're not in there. That was
Okay.
So they're just kind of like these weird ones that they're like, we don't know what it is or why it's here, but you could battle with it.
I wonder when they'll change that.
I assume when the DLCs come out, they'll add because you'll be able to catch them in the actual game with the DLCs. So I'm sure that'll be added in. So Pokemon Home's out there. Check it out. At the very least, you could just download it to get a Squirtle or Bulbasaur in your Sword and Shield game. And I think they also give you a Pikachu, but freaking
Nice.
Of course.
like who? Yay, a Pikachu! Everybody.
Yeah, dude. He's iconic.
He's too iconic.
He's a fucking detective, bro.
Sure. If they gave me Detective Pikachu, I would be all about that. But
Can you transfer one from Pokemon Go?
no, not yet. They have not. That everything else is supported, but Pokemon Go is still coming.
Wow.
But that
Wow.
will eventually happen. But say there was a convention coming up where you wanted to.
There is a convention coming up.
You wanted.
There's
to
a convention coming up.
Okay. Do you think everyone? I hate you. Do you think everyone is going to be there? I don't know.
The Corona craze is sweeping the nation.
Wow.
And I'm not talking about the beer.
Okay.
Headline news. Sony is skipping PAX East, which is the convention that is happening where you could maybe trade Pokemon via Pokemon Home or something. But yeah, they backed out of PAX East citing coronavirus concerns. I don't know what they actually said. I should probably open this article, huh?
Let's look at this actual quote here.
It doesn't matter, honestly. You get the
They backed
idea.
out. So, I mean, that was gonna be the first time the public was gonna be able to play Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
And now
That's
it's
true.
not
Yeah,
happening.
I was
Guys, the Last of Us
burying
is so
the lead.
close.
I think that's one of the really big things. I'll be curious to see if they like drop a demo online or something
They were
response to this.
set to show off Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and something else. I forget. I should really open this link. But they said they are scaling back travel in general right now.
I think they're also not going to GDC.
Yeah,
but
they later in the week announced GDC is coming up in March, and they are not going to have a presence there either, which is interesting. And Square Enix also, like later in the week, announced that they would not be sending devs. So they canceled any of the panels they had that featured devs, but they still said their booth space will be there, where Sony is a complete removal.
It's just going to be an empty space. Just, hey, walk around.
Yeah, it sounds like they'll still have demo stations, and maybe like if they have US employees or something will be there, but it sounds like any of their Japanese dev team will not be there for Square Enix, so like they canceled any of that stuff. And I think they also had like a after PAX party event, like if you're a member of Final Fantasy online, you could go. I think you get like priority.
Do you have to show your gamer tag?
Yeah, kind of. Like, you have to have your account.
You gotta log in, and then the bouncer will let you in.
My kind of party.
Yeah, Sony's removed. They had the largest footprint, it looked like, on the show floor. So they had 3 booths, I think like 2 full-size booths and a half-size block. And those are just, like, the new floor plan is rearranged so that there are just bigger aisles in between the main walkway there. Which, honestly, I don't know, it'll be fine, because, like, it gets so backed up and congested that you can't even move, so it'll be okay.
Because you're in that area, you'll be going to PAX East.
Yeah, I am going to PAX.
Are you worried
Nice.
about the coronavirus?
No, like, I don't know. If I get sick, I get sick from it, you know?
Well, let's hope it's not sick from that.
I'll probably get something, just in general, right? Going to PAX, there
PAX
is...
Plague.
Yeah, PAX, Pox, PAX Plague, whatever you want to call it. Convention sickness is a thing. I always bring a bottle of hand sanitizer. I bring like a pack of wet ones. I feel like it's a general concern every year, though, right? Like you're picking up controllers that everyone else has been sweating on and playing and then like touching their face or their butts because there's no bidets.
Yeah.
You know, so like
PAX, bring the bidet.
Yeah. Bring your own bidet. They're gonna replace the Sony floor space with bidets.
Gamer bidets.
Oh boy.
My favorite type.
It sprays G Fuel up your butt.
That's pretty good.
Oh my god.
But in follow-up again to Sony pulling out of PAX, the mayor of Boston formally has requested Sony to reconsider its decision to pull out.
What the fuck?
So Mayor Marty Walsh...
I love that sentence, by the way.
Yeah.
That's great.
Please reconsider pulling out. I really need this.
Mayor Marty Walsh sent a letter to Sony's president and CEO Friday.
What the fuck?
And said, what did he say? These fears reinforce harmful stereotypes that generations of Asians have worked hard to dismantle. They trigger our worst impulses to view entire groups of people with suspicion, to close ourselves off, and to miss out on opportunities and connections our global city provides. Boston is united in our efforts to dispel these harmful and misguided fears.
I mean,
so
I feel like PAX is a place that you're likely to get sick in general.
Yeah, like we were just saying.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if there is something a little bit bigger, I could see them being cautious around it. And
I don't know. I'm not educated enough on the coronavirus.
I feel like it must be a PR type thing, just like, I don't know, because PAX East is in Boston, and then it's like, oh, Sony is refusing to go or whatever.
He probably was like, yeah, I don't want people thinking that Boston's
thinking like connecting. Boston, they have coronavirus. When it's like, there's only been one confirmed case so far.
Yeah,
and it was a guy that just traveled back from that region in China.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that PAX probably brings a lot of money to Boston, and so people going like, oh, Sony's skipping this, maybe I should skip as well. And
I think the article might say here, but I think there was something along the lines of a lot of since the coronavirus spread worldwide, restaurant and bakery owners in Chinatown have lost tens of thousands of dollars in business. Most businesses said in that neighborhood said their revenue is down by 50% or more, which is like, so it just is a huge hit to that. I don't know.
I mean, I see that, but I don't think Sony's decision is inspired by that. Like, they're not, they're not skipping out on a Chinese deal. They're skipping out on a video game convention because of a legitimate, disease.
Yeah. Also, Bunny in chat, just throwing this out, he was talking about, he's like, there's lots of flight connections between Japan and China for international flights. So, like, that makes a lot of sense.
But, yeah, I can definitely see people being cautious and, like, Sony doesn't need to attend the convention. They just dropped out of their own convention. They dropped out of E3. They'll probably
dropped out of their own convention twice, 2 years in a row.
They'll have to show us Last of Us and the PS5 eventually.
Yeah, I mean, but they could probably do a direct. I wouldn't be surprised if the PS5 is a direct type situation.
That's a whole nother conversation. We should have that at some point. But fun fact, I requested off work the other day for May 29th, 30th, and 31st. I gave myself 3 days for Last of Us Part 2 to just binge it. I'm so ready. That game is gonna be
there's so many games coming out. I don't know what their release dates are.
The Last of Us is literally the only game that I have pre-ordered and the only game that I know the date of for 2020. That's it. Like, I care about the others, of course. Like, there's other games in 2020 that I definitely care about. But, like, The Last of Us Part 2 is the one that I fucking, like, need. The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I'm so ready.
Tationers, do you need an Overwatch TV series?
Yeah, I do. That would be real cool. So I'm pulling from an article. Right? I'm pulling from an article on The Verge by Taylor Lyles. This one paragraph pretty much summarizes it. Says, according to the LinkedIn profile of Nick Van Dyck, or Dyke. I don't know. I guess I'll say Dyke. It's spelled D-Y-K. Just D-Y-K.
I feel like that could be Dick.
Yeah, it could, that's why I was
without,
like... Okay.
Without an E, I would
Without
assume.
an E at the end, yeah. Who just so happens to be in charge of the part of Activision Blizzard responsible for building TV shows and movies. He was personally involved in developing and selling an animated Overwatch TV show. The rest of his resume suggests he might have been just the man for the job. He previously worked at Disney, where he played a key role in helping the company acquire Pixar, and he apparently sold an anime-style Diablo show to Netflix as well. So these two shows, according to his LinkedIn profile, were allegedly like sold. They're not like made yet, but the rights to it happening have been sold apparently.
Cool.
So fucking do it, you cowards.
I feel like that's been like since Overwatch showed up. It was like, okay, with the animated shorts, it was like, well, okay, we need a Netflix TV series of this.
Man, I love those shorts so much, and the most recent one was so good. It's great. The one for Overwatch too. So it would be interesting, but also like I kind of don't really want it unless it's the Blizzard animators doing it themselves. You know what I mean? Like the people who make the shorts.
Yeah.
Like if it's not them, I don't really want that.
Do they do they make it themselves or do they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Blizzard makes those. I don't know. I'm sure they probably get some help. A lot of studios, like for animation, like they do it themselves, but they also have like Blur Studios helping sometimes and stuff like that.
You'd think Blizzard would be big enough though to
Blizzard's giant.
do their in-house animation stuff, especially across all their properties.
Well, sure, but
I
also
would think so.
like some of those animations are like specific things, so you might not want to have a team on hand just for a.
Well, they do
animation.
it enough. Like, I don't know. I remember watching, I watched a behind the scenes. Yeah, no, they definitely do it themselves now that I'm thinking about it. Because I remember watching a behind the scenes video about, I think it was the Warlords of Draenor cinematic, the WoW cinematic. That was oh god, at this point it was a while back. But they were talking about how like they develop those cinematics and make those over like the course of years. Yeah. Like so yeah, it's definitely them doing that. Like I'm sure they have a team just working on the next one right now. But I don't know how much I want from it if it's not them. So I don't know. But I hope it's good. I hope it's cool. That's exciting. It's
who would you want
probably
the
a ways
Overwatch
off.
TV show targeted towards? Like, would it be a kids show? Would it be like
see, that's the thing. It's like
Teddy
I want it
Chinaris.
to be the
high school drama?
I want it targeted to Teddy Chinaris, absolutely. But like I want it targeted, and I just want it to be the same tone as the animated shorts are now.
The shorts, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's marketable, but like the shorts themselves do well. Like people love those and they talk about those forever. So I don't know. This should be interesting.
Because like
I'm excited.
hearing the Diablo anime, right? I think okay, that's like the Castlevania one, or
Oh man,
you know,
Castlevania season 3 is happening.
Oh yeah.
Get excited.
so like that's pretty mature rating, I'd
Oh,
say.
yeah.
A lot of gore and such.
But yeah, get excited, everybody.
Well, while you're waiting for the Overwatch anime, I have a recommendation of an anime you should be watching that you probably don't know about. So Pokemon anime. You're probably thinking of Ash Ketchum and his whole
Hell yeah.
schmiggle. Which I think the dub is actually the dub he's already become the champion, and then I guess after that he did an exhibition match. So I watched that because I'm trying to find the actual episodes where he becomes the champion, see how that whole goes down. I haven't found it. I just saw the exhibition match, and they were like, previously he had already become champion. I'm like, wait, what? Now I have to go back? But a series. So in Japan, they've already started the like Pokemon 2019 series, which is kind of this like region hopping series with Ash and this other kid called Go, where they're gonna.
Oh right, I've heard it go.
Yeah, where obviously Ash has Pikachu, and then Go has a Score Bunny, and then they're gonna
Go
be
just has a phone.
yeah, they're gonna be jumping around. I think it's supposed to be like Pokemon Go-esque.
Yeah.
That's expanded jumping around regions. But if you want something that's specifically Sword and Shield, go on the Pokemon YouTube channel and or just Google Pokemon Twilight Wings. It is this really cool series focusing specifically on Sword and Shield, but not like it's about characters and stories that we're not seeing normally. So first episode was about these kids in a hospital, and they're like watching the champion, what's his name? He's got the big cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Leo?
guy. Yeah. And he's fighting Bay on TV, and then these kids find out that the Chairman Rose is coming to the hospital, and they're real excited. And then the kid wants to give the chairman a letter saying, "Hey, I want to go see the champions battle. Can you make this happen?" And then the kid's late, but stuff happens. It's real cute. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like maybe we're gonna see more about like why why characters do what they do in the game, because there's motives that aren't explained. But the second episode came out, and it's kind of a follow-up to the first one, where we see Bay, the fighting gym leader from Pokemon Sword. She's not in Shield, she's only in Sword. After her losing in that first episode, and it was like she just loses on the TV, it's not a focus. This episode 2 is entirely focused about her going to the wild area and training, and like it is so cool. The art style of it's really cool. It's really well done. I don't know how long it is, probably 5-10 minutes, and like very well voice acted, and it makes the world feel way, way cooler. And they're just on the YouTube channel. They're free to watch. Go check them out. They're very cool. I think they're doing maybe one a month, because the last one came out a month ago. And it looks like they might be teasing the Isle of Armor in it.
Cool.
Because the place that she ends up in looks like it might be the Isle of Armor while she's doing her training. So very much go check this out. Pokemon Twilight Wings. I think they're doing 6 episodes total. So check that out. There's a series called Pokemon Origin. I think there's Pokemon Generations that you can just watch on the YouTube channel that like expand the world beyond just Ash's
I think
stories.
Origin came around the time of X and Y.
Yeah, I think,
and featured Ash. I think.
No, so that was about Red. It is a
Red. Red.
It's a retelling.
Red.
It's a retelling of Pokemon Red and Blue. Like, so it's about a character catching them all and doing the things that happen in the game, not, Ash hanging out with Brock and Misty and stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to,
Yeah. So, well, Red hangs out with Brock and Misty, and then he kicks their ass and moves on with his day.
And Blue is just Gary.
Yeah.
But it's Blue.
Yeah. It's just called Blue. So, and then I think in that they were teasing the
X and Y evolutions, right?
The mega evolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that, because you see that at the very end. So that's you should just poke around the Pokemon YouTube channel. There's cool stuff there.
Speaking of cool stuff,
tell me
how
about
about an island getaway?
That's all about
that. If you sign your life away to one Mr. Tom Nook, you could go on a vacation of a lifetime and
is it a vacation if you live there?
And you could go to his work
well,
camp
it is a vacation
island.
of a lifetime.
The rest of your lifetime.
You were now trapped on his deserted island. And you could pay him for stuff. Resources.
I mean, the dude owns an island. He's just like, hey, I have this island. You can move there if you pay me.
We're talking, of course, about Animal Crossing. I think it's called New Horizons. It doesn't really matter. It's Animal Crossing. It's on the Switch. You'll find it.
You'll find it.
Where you least suspect it. You'll see it.
This one's cool because they put Stardew in your Animal Crossing, from what I can tell.
Okay, now you have me interested straight up.
There is crafting and resource collection, which there's been a little bit of crafting introduced in Animal Crossing with the mobile app. There are achievements similar to collections and things that earn you Nook Miles, which is a new currency that Mr. Nook offers.
Teddy, do you know the library in Stardew?
Hell yeah, dog.
So Animal Crossing has a museum, and they showed that off in the Animal Crossing Direct, and oh my god, this thing looks so cool. Like, it's like a huge aquarium, and
The museum
it's like,
does look very
like
cool.
you're walking through, and apparently you donate things to the museum. It's the equivalent of the library. Like, you find
so
stuff.
the
Are there
museum has been
mines?
around in Animal Crossings before.
I don't think there's mines. I think you find it from fishing and from like digging and stuff. It would be cool.
It's more like as you collect shells, as you collect fish, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
What else is there? So there's crafting, there's terraforming.
Yeah.
You get to actually like add and destroy land on your island. You can choose things like where bridges are placed, where other people's houses are placed, which is a bit different than past Animal Crossings. Usually it's like, okay, there will be a bridge here because of this island's layout or this, town's layout. So you can build the bridge eventually. People's houses, you get to tell them where to live. It seems like kicking people out and inviting people is way more streamlined than it previously has been. The decoration system's improved,
There's a cool cat with it's what I've called business cat. He's got a business suit. He's a cat with kind of a little hair thing, and he's got 2 different color eyes.
Whoa, dude!
Did they say how many villagers? Like 400 or something? Was that?
Yeah, I think there's the. What's cool is that apparently it supports the amiibos, so that you can like invite ones
directly amiibo invite people
from the past games. So I feel like I know there's gonna be a run. There's probably gonna be a run on amiibos because honestly, I went to GameStop and like there's always the freaking Animal Crossing ones there because like there hasn't been a game that supports them in a while.
That's a good way to try to sell them.
But but also there was on the Wii U there was Amiibo Festival that there was Amiibo cards that use that, and apparently those will also work in the game.
Jeez.
But good news is I hear that at least the Japanese store, they're getting reprints. So hopefully that'll also be coming to the American store.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, amiibo are few and far between as far as actual selection goes, it seems nowadays. Like every once in a while, I'll happen to go in on a day that like some released within, that week.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I got Dark Samus not that long ago because it was like, it just happened to be the right week to be at Target or something. And I was like, yeah, I'll get that, but I don't know.
It seems way easier around here, but we're a smaller area. But I will say that they seem to be pretty good about re-releasing them every so often. When Amiibos first came out, if you didn't get them right away, you weren't getting them. But it seems like every so often I'll be like, oh, that thing's back. I can just order that now.
Yeah.
So they've been obviously they already said that they were going to reprint all the Smash Brothers ones, but sometimes I'll see random amiibos reprinted. So that's cool.
Yeah. So Animal Crossing looks like they added a lot of the simulation elements you would find in like a city builder kind of game or a Stardew Life Sim kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they've kind of blended those elements nicely into something much deeper than what previous Animal Crossing was. Because Animal Crossing always felt a little limited in
creativity,
that kind of depth. Yeah, in community depth, I guess. You'd either see a lot of the same villagers, or once they're in your town, it's like there's only so much to do. Or a lot of it was around collecting furniture sets and things like that. And then I was like, okay, this furniture set isn't that appealing to me, so I don't care.
Can I ask you this question?
Crafting,
so it's about collecting furniture sets. How do you go about collecting them?
Well, you used to just like do favors for people, and every once in a while they'd give you some, or you'd go to the store and they'd have some in stock, or you'd do quests to earn them.
Okay, quests to earn them. It's so weird. Whenever I ask about Animal Crossing, like whenever I'm like, hey, what do you do to do this thing? They're always like, oh, you just kind of like sometimes this happens, or sometimes you do this, and sometimes this. And I'm like, but what if I want to do it right now? Like, what can I just go do?
the world exists in real time. So if it's 6 a.m. at your house, it's 6 a.m. in the game.
Yeah, I know. I just
if it's snowing because it's winter, it'll be snowing in the winter of the game.
I know. I've told Aaron is coming on the podcast, by the way, and I'm gonna ask her one question, and then I'm gonna go get water real quick, and then I'll come back. But so I've told Aaron about my Animal Crossing experience, but Matt doesn't know. So it's like when I got New Leaf on the 3DS, I logged in, went met Tom Nook. We were like, "Yo, you owe me hella cash," and I was like, "All right, cool."
Bells.
And then I just went around, met all the villagers, as many as I could find. Went and tried to do some fishing, organize my house around a little bit, and then I was like, okay. And that was about an hour, I think, maybe, of time. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, so what do I do now? I can start playing the game. And then I was like, but what is there to do? And then I straight up found myself Googling. I was like, what do you do
now?
in Animal Crossing? And I couldn't find much. They were all just wait until the holiday. And I was
the starting point in Animal Crossing is to go to Tom Nook and see if he has a shovel, a fishing pole, or a bug net to buy.
Okay.
You buy whichever one he has available, because usually they start with Nook's Cranny, and he has very, very small stock. And so whichever one's available there, which hopefully is the fishing pole, because
fishing's dope.
Because fishing, you can grind like fishing.
I love fishing. That's why I was so excited, because I love fishing in any game.
Bug catching is fun. It's a bit harder to me, in my opinion, to catch the bugs, because you have to sneak up on them and then try and get them at the right time.
Okay. All right.
But fishing is usually, or at least the way I usually try and get bells to pay off my debt to expand my house, because I do like to collect furniture, like what you guys were talking about earlier.
See, this sounds like it'd be so fun.
And it is amazing. It's
it's
so much fun. I have played every single Animal Crossing game. It's I achieved perfect town status in the last one. Wow. I maxed out everything in it. Except the only thing was that I have never donated every single fish and every single bug because it's so hard to do that.
Yeah. Damn. See, anytime somebody talks about Animal Crossing, I'm always like, that sounds like something I'd love. And then I played it and I didn't love it. So I don't know.
I think this one will win you over.
I might. I might get it.
What's really cool with this new one is that I'm actually excited for the multiplayer stuff, which as before in the other ones, I've never really been all that into having other people come visit my town or anything, or because now you can limit them using items.
Right.
They have to be your best friend to be able to use your axe or your shovel, because trolls would come to your town in previous games and chop down your trees. They'll run over your flowers, and so if you did all this really amazing things to your town, and then you open the gates to let people come in and see your town, and then you get one bad guy, they'll just ruin everything. And in this new game, there goes
the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so in this game, you can, if they're marked as your best friend, they can use, their axe and their shovels or whatever. But if they're not, they can't. So you don't run that risk of that happening. So I would be more open to letting, strangers, connect to Wi-Fi and let anyone come in now because of that. Whereas before, I definitely would not.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, you guys discuss all the nerdy details of all the things, and I'm gonna get some water.
So another thing we haven't talked about yet in regards to the new Animal Crossing is they seem to have added with the Nook Miles the ability to travel to other locations, other islands around, as basically resource collection missions. So they seem like they're timed things. They, as a result of doing some quests or achievements or whatever it might be, you then earn the ability to take these trips and then collect better resources that you can bring back to your island and plant, new fruit trees or flowers or whatever.
Exclusive stuff, yeah. It definitely reminded me of in the island in New Leaf, when you would go and do those mini games and stuff. It gave me those kind of vibes.
Okay.
where you could like earn. I
I
think
feel like it's been
a while.
at least half a decade since I played New Leaf. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I've been totally debating about picking it up and just seeing where my town's at and stuff.
Yeah, Isabel will just be like, oh.
I would be so heartbroken though if some of my favorite people moved, and I don't want to
Yeah.
have to deal with that if they did. That's the thing
Isabel
about
would
Animal
be so
Crossing.
sad. She'd be like, it's been 1,200 days since you last showed
It's been
up.
3 years. What happened?
Mayor, where have you been?
But yeah, the Nook Miles thing looks really cool. Also being able to change the terrain.
Yeah,
And, like,
I'm super
dig
excited.
up, like, and put waterfalls where you want them. Once you like reach, it's like once you reach like a certain thing, I think they give you that permission to do that.
That's awesome. Because, like, I will spend way too long building roads in any... Like, if I'm playing, like, a city building game, I'm just laying roads down for hours for... I don't know why. I used to play original Warcraft by just putting in, like, the cheat codes so that I could build out my town and build out my roads. Like, played an RTS game where I would just build a little town around it.
Very nice.
Oh, man.
See,
So
I
I'm
very
excited.
much I like to just play with what the game originally gives me. So I personally might not use the terrain stuff that much unless I'm like, oh, I want to put a slope here because it'll be more convenient,
Right.
you know, to just be able to go up to the next level of town from here rather than having to go clear around or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they do give you the ladder too, so you can just, you know, like go up the ladder, but a slope kind of just speeds that up a little bit more
Yeah.
instead of you having to bring your ladder out and then go up that way too. But it's just really cool. They're giving you way more customizable options like that. And it's really interesting, and I'm just really freaking excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too.
And Bryce mentioned this earlier, but yeah, the museum just looks so
It
incredible.
looks awesome. Yeah.
I've always been really into donating stuff to the museum, and now I'm just even more excited for it because it's like
Yeah.
the fossils. You can like walk under the fossils
like
and be like
actual-
more
Yeah.
like integrated through it. It just looks so cool and beautiful, and it's just the game overall just looks just so much more incredible because, you know, it's just been on the DS, like on handheld,
Right.
for the past
Yeah, like
several
when they put it on-
years.
When they put Pocket Camp on phones, it was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what HD Animal Crossing can look like. Wow, it's so
Yeah.
crisp. So, like, yeah, finally getting that console experience with it is going to be awesome.
I can't wait. It's just the textures look great, the lighting, and like
Yeah.
like actually seeing like the leaves blowing in the wind, and like there's
Are
a little
you-
bit of fog with the snow.
Are you and Bryce going to play in the same town, or are you going to play on your own islands and then visit each other?
See, he wants us to share a town. He
Yeah.
wants us to have a town together. But I want my own town.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And so, but he's
Visiting
also
is fine.
Yeah.
Right?
See, it's like we can still play together.
You can be
It's
best
just, well,
friends.
He can have his town and I can come visit him, or he can come visit me, or vice
Yeah.
versa. And then we can each do what we want with like the terrain and stuff, and
Yeah.
just do our own thing that way. And I guess it's probably just because I've had my own town now for however many games since the GameCube version, basically.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so used to it, just it being me on there. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's like right now I'm definitely like, I just want my own town. You can have your own town. It's like, that's how I want it to be. So yeah.
That comes out in a
March
little under
20th.
a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
March 20th.
Remember that when I'm playing my my Animal Crossing Switch.
I hope the audio picked that up.
Yep. He just threatened he'll remember that when he plays it on his Animal Crossing Switch, which before he just said that he's always said that he was giving me the Animal Crossing Switch because I'm the super fan of it.
Do you already
So-
have one? Do you already have two Switches, or do you only have the one right now?
We have two. I have my own and he has his own.
So it'll be your third Switch.
Yeah. There will be
Oh, boy.
3 switches in the apartment for a bit. But we're thinking we'll sell mine to somebody or something, because it's like you don't really need 3 switches around. Hey Teddy, welcome back.
Hey Teddy.
Welcome back. How's the Animal Crossing going?
We
You
had a
should have
good
been listening.
Animal Crossing rap session. I think it's a great point to jump on for you. I think that they've deepened the game enough with the crafting and reward systems and like the Nook Miles trips that I think you will find stuff to do consistently.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, give it a shot.
You should. We can play together,
I'm also
Teddy.
trying to save up money, but you never know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I will let you get back to it then. Bye.
All right.
Back to our regularly scheduled program.
Bye,
Thanks
Aaron.
for coming
Thank
on,
you.
Aaron.
She can't hear us.
Bye.
All right.
That was a nice little surprise appearance,
That was good.
everybody.
All right, Bryce is back, and he has some important news to share.
About
That was the lead-in.
Okay, so Polygon did a article, saying GameStop employees reportedly report extreme pressure from desperate bosses. In multiple interviews with Polygon, store managers and staff speak of plummeting morale. This is written by Colin Campbell. You should definitely go to Polygon and read this whole article, because it's very long. It's got things on declining sales, their tech trades. Obviously, they were doing things where they were trading your iPhone and tablets.
Things you didn't know GameStop did.
Yeah. and there's definitely been a lot of store closings lately. GameStop is not in a good position. I mean, we saw that definitely when Game Informer, people lost a lot of their jobs. And obviously the actual stores are seeing that as well.
I'm interested to see where they end up, because I don't know that they will go away completely anytime soon.
Both of you, have you been in a GameStop recently? Because I know that
it's been a little while.
They've been trying to do different things, and because I live in kind of a smaller area, we just kind of have a default GameStop, and I was in it literally the other day when they did the Animal Crossing Direct, and I'm like, oh, let me go see if there's some Animal Crossing amiibos I don't have to try and pick those up, because I know that they're gonna have functionality and stuff. And I was in there, and they had a little like Pro Controller Joy-Con charger deal. It was like $10. I'm like, oh, this is sweet. I'll charge my stuff, a little dock. It didn't work. It just straight up did not work.
Oh no.
And this is the second bad piece of hardware we've gotten from GameStop. But I was just like, oh, let me try this. This looks like a real great deal. Thing didn't power anything. We plugged all the stuff in. Nothing happened. Like, oh, cool. That was just a waste of money.
Yeah, it's definitely been a couple months since I've been in one. But usually I just like go in, kind of hang out for a minute, just look around, and then sometimes I'll talk to the employees, just be like, hey, what's going on?
How you guys
how's it
doing
going today? Let's talk about video games because it's fun.
Yeah.
The stores around here, like so much of the shelves, obviously on the walls, they'll have games and stuff, but the inner kiosks and stuff seem to be all like collectibles and stuff like that. And they're kind of pushing this gaming adjacent. Well, I mean, I see a lot of My Hero Academia stuff. Like, here's a My Hero Academia backpack and stuff. It's like, I mean, technically there's a My Hero Academia video game, but it just seems to just... they bought ThinkGeek. So obviously they're selling all that stuff. They bought and killed ThinkGeek, which I'm not a fan of. ThinkGeek.
Wait, does ThinkGeek not exist anymore?
ThinkGeek's dead. They killed it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which I'm not a fan of. ThinkGeek was...
I mean, for the physical stores, right? I bet you money there's still a thinkgeek.com. Oh no, it's GameStop. It redirects you to GameStop.
Teddy,
You're right. Oh
Teddy,
my god.
Teddy Chinaris, I will accept that bet.
No, it's too late. We already found out.
I will bet no right now.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
If you go to thinkgeek.com, it redirects you to GameStop.com.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so GameStop is obviously not in a good position, and employees are obviously getting a bad, like, they're being pressured from the top about this, and I think that'll happen with any company is that like it's the people at the bottom's fault. And I will say at the end of this article, probably the final words, I'll read this real quick. It says, a small number of the employees who contacted us were angry about media portrayals of GameStop as an avarice company or one that is facing extinction. Judging by anecdotal evidence, GameStop employees are frequently subjected to rudeness and abuse by customers, which is sometimes fueled by negative coverage of the company, especially on social media.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
I didn't think people were going into GameStop being like, haha, motherfuckers, y'all are shutting down.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was happening.
I'm sure somewhere someone's being a dick, but that's probably not the rule.
Wow.
They said, I really want to get a fair representation of GameStop out there, said one manager. I don't think we're all bad. We try to do an awful lot of good. I think senior managers have excellent intentions and are trying their best to steer us in that direction. But almost all employees Polygon spoke to expressed a broadly negative view of the company's strategies and its prospects. They don't listen to employees, said one. We need managers who have actually worked in the stores who listen to store managers. I worked for a failed retail chain in its last few years, and while we're not there yet, I definitely see some warning signs. I mean, I think everybody's basically seen the writing on the wall. I mean, there's definitely been they're not going to do well because of digital sales, and that's definitely one of their big problems. But there's plenty of physical stuff to sell. There really cool pre-orders, or not pre-orders, but collector's editions and stuff like that. Though for a lot of that stuff, honestly, if I'm a pre-order game, even a physical one, first choice is Amazon. Second choice is like Best Buy.
Not for me.
Yeah, Amazon never for me because they never seem to deliver it on time. So
What's weird is that I'll hear that, but I'm far away from a distribution center, so I always get it on time. I think they send.
I live in a city with a distribution center. I'm pretty sure, and I still.
I think that's the thing is they send out ours first because we're farther away, so that you guys get yours last, and maybe they don't have it for you at the time.
No, I also just don't want to risk it. Like, and for a place with if there is a physical edition that is like Uncharted 4 was the last time I got the physical collector's edition, and I got it at GameStop. And it was like a midnight release. So like I went to the midnight release and like picked it up, and my first choice would still be GameStop.
That's the only time
my brain doesn't default to Best Buy for that. You know what I mean? Like maybe I would do it, but I don't know. It doesn't go there.
That's the only time I'll mess with GameStop is, well, if there's sometimes a deal of like, oh, it's just nice to look at what they have and stuff. And I actually have a friend that I met on Twitch who turns out he used to work at GameStop. He's working there again. He's kind of middle management at the store. He's like one above store associate or whatever. Yeah. And so it's like, oh, hey, nice to see you and stuff. But just like the feel of the store, just kind of, I don't know. There's so many just like boxes of like figures and stuff. It just doesn't really feel like gaming's their focus anymore. And it's probably because they don't make maybe enough money off games. And people aren't buying used as much, but things aren't looking good, and the GameStop employees are feeling it. And I will say, I worked there at like 5-6 years ago, and things were bad for me as an employee there because they kind of had their directions weird. They were pushing pre-orders and Power Up Rewards subscription so hard, and what was really
every time you call them, this is blanket GameStop where you can Power Up Rewards, get the magazine. How can I help?
Yeah,
they have like a whole long thing they have to go through.
It's so ridiculous, and what was so dumb about it is that it was a percentage based deal. So I needed to sell like 20%. 20% of my transactions needed to have a pre-order or a subscription, and they were separated out. So literally, a kid could come in who had just saved up all of their money, and I have to be like, "Do you want to pre-order the new Call of Duty?" And I know they don't, but it's like, if
you have to.
Well, and not only that, if I don't sell them, if I don't get these pre-orders, my hours get cut. I get less hours for not hitting these goals.
So it is just a sales job. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
that's what I've heard.
But it's so dumb because it's like I could sell millions of actual games, but I'm gonna lose hours because I'm not selling you pre-orders or the magazine, and like it kind of sucked because people would come in and they'd be like, oh, I have a Power Ups rewards card, and be like, cool, can't sell you that then, and I need to like this is a transaction that I don't got a shot at, cool. So pre-orders probably look good on charts. They're like, look at this forecasted sales. We're going to make this money later, and that's why they push it so hard. But in terms of like right now, like you could sell this game and people aren't going to come in because they don't want to deal with that. I'd rather go someplace where I don't have, like Amazon's not going to be like, oh, you got to pre-order just to get through this transaction. And so I can definitely see where their deal is, and they need to figure out what they are and maybe just focus on being a cool place. I've seen on these articles always I've seen several news outlets, I think, recite this same report in different contexts. And I'll look on the comments to kind of see what people are saying. And I will see that some game stores are doing cool stuff, like doing tournaments, doing like Mortal Kombat tournaments.
Yeah, I've seen that published where I think there are like 2 or 3 different style of stores that they are kind of trying or rolling out. So you might get the one that's more like a gaming cafe or whatever, or gaming, hub, and then ones that are like a used game, retro game store, and then ones that are, more of like the standard store where they seem to sell a lot of like memorabilia stuff.
Yeah. I think GameStop needs to figure out who they are, what they are, and maybe, chill out a little bit. But maybe
just chill out, guys.
Yeah.
I almost feel like the natural progression is that like they will shut down, more to the point where maybe they just become like a destination thing where it's like, oh, you're in New York City, there's a big GameStop there and it's a thing to go to, like the Nintendo store or something.
Maybe. I hope they don't get so bad just because they own Game Informer, and Game Informer is just a state away from me. Like their headquarters is just a 5-hour drive from here. So it's kind of cool to have like a big game outlet really close, especially because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I don't want them to do that bad, but honestly, the actual stores, like they're kind of my last choice for game, even though they are a store it's supposed to be dedicated towards gaming. It's like, do I want to deal with this? Like,
I find myself going to Target a lot more than a GameStop at this point. I used to go, I'd probably used to prioritize GameStop, and now I probably prioritize just like, oh, I can go get other stuff at Target also.
Yeah. Target's game and geek section is actually pretty significant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's honestly a good. I wouldn't pre-order stuff from Walmart or Target just because that like they're not really built for it. I'm sure they're capable of it. They're just not. If you go up to someone of like, hey, I need to pre-order that, I kind of just expect them to go like, But
okay, I think we do that.
Yeah.
but I'd go online.
Honestly,
first.
for me, it's the same with Best Buy. That's why I don't go there. I just know GameStop is like. And I know that Best Buy does it, but it's one of those things where I feel like they would have that same kind of response, even though I know they wouldn't. Yeah. It's just like ingrained in my brain.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't try and do it in an actual store. I do it online. I'll be curious to see how GameStop is sitting this time next year after the new consoles have come out. Is that going to help them?
That'll help. Oh, yeah, 100%. That will absolutely help them. Yeah. It's just how much, but that'll definitely help. I most likely will. Dude, I've been like budgeting pretty hardcore like throughout this month because adult life and shit. And I'm like I set aside, I was like, okay, so like this amount of percentage of my savings I'm gonna like set aside for new consoles because like those are coming. I need to be ready.
To do it,
I'm just gonna like each paycheck I'm gonna set aside a small percentage until I have enough to hopefully be able to get them.
Yeah, which hopefully we'll see prices
that's
on
coming.
Those.
Yeah, save yourself like a taco trip a week or something.
Yeah. Y'all, that is coming. Yeah. We're getting new consoles this year. It's crazy.
certainly
I keep
doesn't feel
reminding
like it.
myself about it, and I'm like, whoo!
I won't feel it
It's
until
gonna hit, and it's gonna hit all at once.
I won't feel it until I see that PlayStation 5. I need to see
Yeah.
it and see what its secrets are.
And see, that's the thing. Once that happens, once that first reveal event for either of them goes on, it's like now we're like, oh shit, it's new console year. Yeah. But I'm preparing myself beforehand because I know it's still gonna be this year.
I keep forgetting that like Halo launches with the new Xbox.
Fuck yeah!
And it's like, oh,
I'm so excited,
that should
but I'm
be,
also
like,
terrified.
A really big deal.
It is.
And I don't know why I'm not like. I don't know if like people aren't talking about it as much or something, or
well,
it's like I guess E3 this year we'll see.
Yeah, they should. There should be a lot more for it this year at E3, but nobody's really talking about it because it's just like a trailer.
Yeah,
That's that one trailer. Also, I'm terrified about that game. I am terrified for that game because the what was it? The creative director left like 6 months ago or something like that. Like very far supposedly into that project. And then like some other big lead left, and then some like big writer on the project left, and then like all of this happened, and I'm like, that game's supposed to come out like next fall, and they're not delaying it. That's my problem, is I bet you a lot of them, I feel like a lot of them probably left because they probably realized we can't do this in this amount of time, and Microsoft was like, well, you fucking have to. Like, this has to release with Xbox. I would think
X. Maybe the other way, like, they've been on this project for, when was the last Halo? What's it been,
Halo
like 5 years?
2015, I believe.
Okay, yeah, so they've been working on the project for at least 5 years, probably longer.
I would think they'd finish out the project before they leave, if that was their thing.
Yeah, they would ship it, you know?
I mean, maybe they all, depending on what their position was, like maybe they felt that it was far enough where it was going and feature complete enough that they were done and they could move on.
Maybe it's such a big fucking machine over there, you know what I mean?
We'll see.
That they put people in, but no, I'm more with you, Bryce. I
think anytime someone's left mid, that game is not ended out that good.
Yeah, no, I'm scared. But I hope it's good.
But I heard there's a new section of gaming news to talk about.
All right, welcome everybody. This is Teddy's weekly quick Cowboy Roundup of gaming news. Yeehaw! All right, so Fortnite Season 2 is a thing that started. So if you play Fortnite, you should check that out. Atlas is saying to keep hoping for Persona 5 on the Switch because the more people who hope for it, the more likely it'll be that it'll happen. They're like, oh, we're listening, but also don't hope for it because that means that they're clearly aren't in active development for that game, and it just might happen one day. So fucking play it on PlayStation 4. If you want to play that game, play it on PlayStation 4. Because like, even if you do get it on Switch, it's gonna be a long ways away. There's a new patch for The Witcher 3 on the Switch. Speaking of the Nintendo Swatch. And it has upgraded visual fidelity and like visual options. Apparently it adds touch controls. I guess that's just for the menus. And there's a cross-save functionality with Steam and GOG between Switch and
good old games
and Steam. Yeah. So, and it's what Divinity Original Sin 2 did that on the Switch as well, which I thought was really cool. So that's awesome that they're doing that. The Overwatch League games that were supposed to be in China that they canceled because of the coronavirus, they are moving those to Korea. Also, fun fact, I'm banned from Apex Legends.
Why?
I don't know.
We have a cheater in our midst.
I don't know, dude. I just wanted to bring that up. I have no idea. I went to play that game for the first time since like the beginning of Season 2, and they're in like Season 4 now.
You know what you did.
I went, it let me like go into the training area. It let me, cause I wanted to get like my settings right. And then I went and, cause now they have Kings Canyon, which is the original map. I haven't played the second map, so I was like, cool, I'll do that. And then like started loading in, and it even like put me in the queue. And then it like started to load into the match. And then it was like, the account associated with this client has been banned from the game, banned. I'm like, okay.
Have you tried again since then?
No, but that was like Friday night.
All right,
Saturday
Was
night.
your name like offensive or anything? Or was
No, it's my name.
were you playing on PC or PS4?
PC.
All right. I wonder.
So here's the thing. Do you remember on this podcast where I talked about somebody hacked into my fucking Jedi Fallen Order save?
Oh, I don't remember
randomly?
that, but that sounds like something that would happen.
That's a thing that happened. I logged in. I loaded up my Jedi Fallen Order save, and I was at the end of the game with 100%. It gave somebody hacked into my Origin and was like, "Here's a completed save." I don't know. So I fixed that. Like, I changed my password. I got that all good. I was able to get my old save back through like finding that like deep in my computer. Maybe my theory is that maybe whoever did that really was like using it to like hack in Apex and then
maybe
didn't. And then I don't know why they would also then fuck with my Jedi Fallen Order.
I mean, if you got access to the Fallen Order, why not? You know.
Well, I mean, if he got access to my Origin account, then I guess he could get into that too. But like, I don't know why he would do that at all. Or maybe it's just the hacking system that he uses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it gave him all the things in there and then gave him all the cheats in Apex. I don't know how hacking works. But I submitted a claim to EA and haven't heard back yet. They were like 72 hours.
We'll see. I'm not
72
optimistic.
hours business days.
Probably.
Yeah, that's a good point too. So yeah, I don't know, but I kind of wanted to play it, so we'll see. Hopefully, maybe by next time, you'll hear me be like, "Oh, what games have you been playing?" And I'll be like, "Apex."
Not Apex Legends.
Also, Yeehaw. That's the end of the segment.
If anyone at EA is listening to this podcast, unban Teddy Chinaris.
Help, brother. I swear I've never. I swear I didn't do anything.
I swear I never wall hacked.
You did turn your aimbot off before you played?
Of course. Dude, I wouldn't even know where to begin with it. But like, I was kind of missing it. Like, I haven't played Apex in a while. I've seen a bunch of friends are like out there playing it recently, and I'm like, shit, I should hop in. But nope. So we'll see.
Do you know where listeners can hop in? They can hop in to patreon.com/lastgeek to help support this show for the low price of $5 or really any amount of dollars. But if you support the price at $5 or above, you get a shout out on each and every episode of this podcast. So I just want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters, Aaron C. and Dragons Lucas. You are an amazing Patreon producer. I keep forgetting to call them producers so they can put it on their resume. This is an opportunity.
Is that how that works?
I mean,
I don't know about that.
If you were a producer, you'd want to put it on your resume, wouldn't you? I
don't know.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if I was a Patreon producer.
If I
think
produced Batman, that's going on my resume.
Sure.
So
sure. I don't think we're on the same level.
I mean, we'll find out. Somebody put it on their resume and let us know if it works. Dragons Lucas, I'm looking at you. Erin is a freelancer, so I know she doesn't really have a resume. But thank you, Erin C. and
could
Dragons.
say freelancer.
Yep. And thank you for supporting the show. If you want to also get this service, patreon.com/lastgeek. I feel like we skipped Conversation Corner. I feel like
Conversation Corner is going on a brief hiatus. Teddy and Matt, and now Bryce's Conversation Corner is going on a brief hiatus. We will be back at some unknown time in the future. Don't miss us too much, I promise. We'll be back.
Yeehaw. I just want to call it Teddy's Conversation Corner so that when you're gone, it's like the Roper Report. Even after Roper left, it was still the Roper Report.
Leaving a legacy, you know?
But
it's like
we actually got some questions.
Dick Clark's New Year's Eve.
We actually got some questions, comments, and thing to order at Starbucks.
I'm gonna go there after this because I have had very little sleep.
Quickly, tell us what he should order. But before we get into it, do you want to be part of the show? Go to readysetgamecast.com/submit to submit a question, comment, or your favorite flavor of pickles for us to read on the show.
Do pickles have multiple? Well, I guess they do.
Yeah.
There's
all right.
Style of pickle.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
There's
those.
dill, there's kosher, there's
Just a spear dill pickle. I'm
They're
pretty sure
spicy
that's the
pickles.
only
I'm a big
pickle I've
fan of
ever
like
had,
the
to be
deli
honest.
pickle though that you can get. You know, you go to a deli, you get it with your sandwich, and it's like those. They're pretty cucumbery, I guess. They're like
more
lightly pickled.
Yeah, they're more crispy than a regular. Yeah,
Big fan of those.
You're right. I'm with you.
Okay, well, number one question, first out the gate, is Aaron C. And they ask, what should I name my island in Animal Crossing New Horizons? Now, I feel like, I could just yell at them and they can answer me. But Matt might know, is there a character limit?
Probably.
Okay. Do you know what the character limit is?
No.
The game's not out. I doubt.
I see 10. So 10 characters of Brownie. That's a
terrible name. Does it always say like island after it? Like
No.
would it be blank island? Damn it. Cause I want
I don't think
to
so.
name it Ember Island because I do everything off of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's the second to last episode. When they go to the Ember Island, they see the Ember Island players, I think is what the episode is called, and they go see the play, which is done about themselves, and it's fucking great. It's a great episode. That's what I would do. That's what I think my Stardew farm is just Ember Farms or something like that.
Mine is Red Lantern Farm. And then I started one that was, you can do the different kinds of farms. And I wanted to mess around with the farm that the monsters come out at night. I called that one Last Hour Farm. That's Brownie. Matt, what do you got?
Clocktown.
So it's just called Clock?
No, it's called Clocktown.
It's called Clocktown Island, bro. God,
can you fit that? Is that enough characters?
it's 9, right?
CLOCKTOWN. Yeah, actually, you got it. Nailed it.
Why? Can I
Any
ask
Majora's
why?
Mask fans out there?
There it is. I was like, are we just gonna breeze past that and we're not gonna ask why? Okay.
I've never. Breath of the Wild was the only Zelda game I played.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I think I played OG Zelda, but I had the old man say, "Here's a sword," and then that was about it.
It's free on your Switch if you pay $20 a year, or $35 for a family.
Guys, let's see how far I can get in Zelda by the end of the show.
How about no? Fargo Brady says, with having the most powerful hardware and the ecosystem in Game Pass, which gets you exclusives day one, is this going to be enough for Xbox to win the next generation and provide enough value to straight out the gate with the Series X, or will its lack of known exclusives for now still be its Achilles heel? Well, I think for one, if Halo isn't good, that's going to be a real stab in the heel. Because Game Pass is great, but also they're kind of making a case for not owning an Xbox with PC.
Yeah. So I think in the frame of powerful hardware and exclusives, no is my answer.
Definitely not.
But if you are talking about just the general ecosystem of Game Pass and offering a PC-like experience or whatever in your living room, I think then yes, they are set up to be the winner. I don't think they care, right? Ultimately, they want you to exist in the Xbox ecosystem if you're playing on PC or you're playing on console or even on Switch or something, They want that. Yeah. So they don't really care necessarily that you're buying their box or buying their exclusives. They just want you to subscribe. Yeah. So I think they are set up to win that way, but not in the hardware / exclusives exclusively.
And I think PS4 is going to try and undercut them in price, and I feel like that's going to help them, because I think for a lot of people who aren't locked into a game system, they're going to look at which one's cheaper. They're going to say, can I play the current gen games? Which one's going to give me that cheaper? So if PS4 does undercut them, that's going to really help PS4. Game Pass is huge. I honestly haven't played
PS5,
Game Pass,
by the way.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one. That's what we're on.
But I have Game Pass. There's plenty of times I don't boot up my Xbox. Honestly, I'm like, what is offered on PC? Because I still hate the UI on Xbox. It's so hard to use.
Also, no. Is that going to be enough for Xbox to win the next generation? Just no, because I don't think anything in general is going, unless there is a big fuck up like there was the last time for Xbox. Unless PlayStation does something big, I don't think there's any chance PlayStation is going to lose. At least like right out the gate, at least like year one. I don't think there's any chance unless there's something big like that.
Especially because of like they don't have enough series that like they've got Halo.
No, it's not even. I don't even think it's just that. I think it's just the fact that like over 100. What's PlayStation up to? Like 100, 150 million or something like. It's crazy. Like it's just the fact that many people have it, and they're just gonna be like, oh, next one, cool.
Yeah.
Unless there is some big shake up, or unless Xbox is cheaper, I think that's possible. But
right now, I just want to ask you both: are you gonna buy a PS5 this year?
Yes.
If possible.
Are you both gonna buy an Xbox this year?
If possible. But I'm going to try to do both, but I'm also going to try and move out on my own. So
I'm for sure PS4. Xbox is we'll see.
Okay. So you're both definitely on PlayStation.
Yeah, for sure. The second that goes up for pre-order, I'm
okay,
chasing it down.
See, I don't think I'm buying either this year.
Oh, really? See, what I'm going to do...
Fun. Like, I could totally see that.
PS5 is supposed to be backwards compatible, is sell PS4s to go towards PS5, because then I could just play all my PS4 games on that. So, I mean, technically the Xbox will do that too, but I've got 3, well, counting my girlfriend's, which will probably upgrade hers as well, I've got 3 PS4s in my house. I've got the 1 Xbox, so I could probably trade in 2 PS4s to get a PS5.
I wonder... just anecdotally how much demand there is out there for the new consoles at this point. Like, because they had the Pro versions, it's like, did people buy Pro versions, or did they hold off knowing at some point the new ones are coming, or do they buy both?
I think anybody who bought the PS4 or the Pro versions
is probably going to buy a new one.
Yeah, because they care about that having the best.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, as I've been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like the load times are just a little slow and like just a little sluggish to where I'm like it does drop below 30 frames every now and then. It's smooth for the most part, but it's like every now and then I'm like, I could just wait for the PS5 and get that and like do it on backwards compatible. I'm sure it'll run better.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that like everything on the PS5 that you put in the PS5 will probably run at the PS4 Pro settings.
Yeah, at least that's what I would hope,
I'm excited to like play like I might replay Kingdom Hearts to get like the PS4 Pro version of that and play these games that like with the upgraded power.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. So yeah, I mean, I guess Matt probably, or would you say that you're a PlayStation fanboy or like, do you care?
No, not at all. I'd be a Nintendo fanboy, if anything.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, perfectly happy with my Switch and my PC right now, I think is why.
Oh, I probably play PC for most things. I play PS4 for exclusives. If I'm going to play console, it's going to be PS4 just because it's just kind of easier. I have an Xbox. I love Game Pass. It's so cool to just look on there and be like, oh, I have access to that. And so I love that. But honestly, like, there's games that I'll be like, oh, cool, I have that on Game Pass. I'm playing that on PC though, because I mean, I've got the Xbox S, so it's not the most powerful one, and my PC sure as hell is. So
yeah, you just built
it. Better than my launch Xbox though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still playing most everything on PC, weirdly enough at this point. But yeah, if I do play a single player thing or something, it's usually PS4. And to be honest, like, I definitely want a PS5 because I am invested in like the first party studios that Sony has. Yeah. Like, my favorite game series of all time was Infamous, and now like Uncharted would be second. Like,
did you play Control yet?
No, but I really want to.
Yeah, I
really want to play that, and I also really want to play genuinely Quantum Break, because both those games, gameplay-wise, look very Infamous-y.
Yeah, you should. I don't know about Quantum Break, but I was definitely doing some stuff in Control, and I was like, oh, you know what? This kind of reminds me of Infamous, and I was like, oh, Teddy needs to play this.
I want to. I own it. I own it on PC.
No. Okay. The coronavirus sent in a question, and they said, "Why does no one want me? I just want to be loved deep down in the bottom of your lungs."
Wow.
Well, because if you do that, then you kill people.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Boo, coronavirus.
I'm good. Yeah, get out of here. Boo.
Boo.
No one likes you.
And Freddie D says, what other old school games would you like to see get a complete HD remake similar to Final Fantasy VII?
Oh, damn it. That's not exactly the question, but fucking put the Infamous collection on PlayStation 4 already. Cowards.
Would you want them to completely remake it in the way that...
No. See, that's why it's like it doesn't really work for this question, but fuck. Put it on PlayStation 4.
Jet Force Gemini.
Okay.
That's it.
I've never played Jet Force Gemini, but I hear a lot about it. I hear good things.
Digimon World 1 from the PlayStation 1. Don't make it turn-based shenanigans like you did with Digimon World 2 and Digimon World 3. I want to be able to train my Digimon, take him and make him real smart, and maybe he'll listen to my commands. But then if I make him real smart, then I can't make him real strong. So maybe it's better for me to have him punch the thing real good, so then he can just do what he wants and he'll punch him real good. So I want to have that authentic Digimon World experience with HD graphics on my device. That is the reason I'm so excited for the PlayStation 5, is if it's truly backwards compatible, I have my Digimon World 1 disc from the PlayStation 1. I'm going to slide that baby in. I'm going to stream me some Digimon World 1. It's going to be great. Let's make it happen.
Shit.
Or I'll also accept an HD remake with all the cool graphics. Let me do Metal Greymon in the cool game world. I've never beat it, because what happens is, like, if things go badly enough, they'll just die, and then you get a new egg, and then you got to rehatch. Or they could die of old age. I've only had that happen once, where 90% of the time, I just spit. 90% of the time, I evolve and I'll get like an Agumon, and then after that he'll evolve into this Digimon that looks like a poop emoji, and like it's basically like you did a bad job, and then you just have poop emoji mon for a while, and then I wait for him to die so I can try again. One time I got like a Metal Greymon, and I just fucking wrecked shop. I actually made some serious progress in the story, because you need to obviously do fights and stuff to be able to make progress. And then after that, like, he died. It just of like old age, and I was like, but he was my one good guy, and I never got as far as that. So I want that game again. I think that's the only really old school game that I really have an affinity for that like unique style, because like so many games, like you'll see something similar that exists. Like Stardew or Harvest Moon, you can play Stardew Valley. Like there's something new that's similar to that. I've never seen a game like Digimon World 1 from PlayStation 1.
I don't know if this is exactly in the same vein, but it's kind of like, what if you could give anybody an IP that exists and, do it? I think I would like to see Ubisoft make a new Star Fox adventure game. Since they did the Starlink thing and they were allowed to do Star Fox, I want Star Fox Adventure with the dinos and the third-person combat, and it was basically a Zelda game, I feel like, ultimately, how that worked. It was maybe more platformy, but Star Fox Adventure was really cool. I feel like for whatever age I was at the time when I played it, it was awesome, but I don't think it reviewed great. I don't think people really like it.
Yeah, from what I hear, people don't very much like that game. But I do remember playing that at a friend's house and like getting out of the thing and was like, whoa, it's so cool.
So if they could do like a, Assassin's Creedification of it from Ubisoft, but of that, I think that would be really cool.
Would that be the ultimate like Matt Teddy game of like Assassin's Creed Star Fox?
That's pretty great.
It'd be pretty good
combo.
Desmond goes into the
fucking Animus.
Yeah. and is like, what? I'm a fox?
God.
Well, that is all of the questions, comments.
Also,
and
I don't really have an
Starbucks
answer, to be honest.
Oh,
So we're good.
So, housekeeping. Go to lastgeek.com for links to the podcast on all your favorite podcast services, including iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher, as well as the video version on youtube.com/thelastgeek. I showed amiibos at the screen several times during this podcast, so you could see that on the video version.
Yeah, Spectre Knight.
Yep.
Tom Nook.
That was King Knight. He's right
King
there.
Knight.
King Knight's pretty cool.
I've never played any of the Shovel Knight games. The amiibos just look cool. There's several amiibos I have just because they look at his cape. He's got a cool cape.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fun fact about Star Fox Adventures, real quick. Miyamoto convinced Rare to redesign the game to be both part of the Star Fox series and a launch title for the GameCube. So they had a different game that they were making, and they made it a Star Fox game.
That's crazy.
And also it is referenced as Legend of Zelda influenced gameplay. So there you go.
Well, if you liked that and liked the show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us grow and become more powerful.
I'm always like, you always slow down right there.
It's like
I'm always like ready to do it, and then I'm just like,
I gotta
have
do the slow rise. Other Last Geek stuff you should check out. Go to lastgeek.com/store to get awesome merch from this show, Game Corp, and general Last Geek merch like leggings, posters, hoodies, stickers, and more. Check out the newest episode of Game Corp. Bees on the Battlefield was apparently the last one that came out, which is a very good.
Huh?
I came up with a very good. It's basically a Fire Emblem, but you date them on the battlefield. You have to get them separated from their
Sounds
troops.
like Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yeah.
I've played Boyfriend Dungeon. It's not like that, because
Of course, yeah.
because you're just fighting monsters in Boyfriend Dungeon. In this, you'd be dating your enemy so that you could turn them to your side. So you can check that out. Look for Game Corp or youtube.com/lastgeek. We haven't had a Let's Play out for a while, but we just recorded one of Nidhogg 2. Beckers gets real frustrated, and then she finds a controller, and then she gets better at it, and she refuses to lose to me. It's gonna be good. It'll be out hopefully, I would say by the end of the month, but that's optimistic. But that is all of the content that we have for you today. Matt, where can people find you, hear from you?
At Dilbert Pickled, or Dilbert Pickled, around, like Twitch things. I'm around.
Did you change from Picklish, Matt? Are they all Dilbert Pickled?
Yeah, no, I'm Dilbert Pickled everywhere.
Yeah, I was like looking for Picklish Matt, and then I came up Dilbert Pickle. I was like,
I finally got Dilbert Pickled.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to get Dilbert Pickles, but apparently when you squat your own account, there's nothing that you can do about that, and it's locked.
Wow. Teddy Chinaris.
Twitch.tv/Teddy Chinaris, and Twitter and Instagram, all the same thing. YouTube as well. I'm doing things just slowly.
Everyone, don't forget, whenever Kinda Funny puts out that thing, type in Teddy Chinaris for the Up and Comer nomination.
I got to do more work for that.
No, you've been doing you've got a YouTube channel, you got a Twitch channel, you've been doing a bi-weekly video game podcast for 3 years now. You got a whole resume of content for them to look at and experience why you would be the future Kinda Funny musketeer. But you can follow me on Twitter at LastGeek. You can follow me on Instagram at LastGeekPlays. You can follow me at twitch.tv/LastGeekPlays. Hopefully, the day after this goes live, I'll be doing a board game stream because I just got a whole bunch of stuff set up to do board games. You want to see what board game I'm gonna stream?
Is it Pandemic?
It's Pandemic.
Oh, it's Pandemic, guys. I don't know anything.
How did I know that?
Because I put up a picture.
Were you tweeting it?
Yeah.
Is that why? Yeah.
I put up a picture of the setup and on Facebook. I doubt you.
It's because I follow Last Geek on Twitter.
Yep. Or facebook.com/lastgeek. It's on Instagram. It's all the great places. I think that's all my stuff. But yeah, twitch.tv/lastgeekplays. Come around 9:32 p.m. Central Time is what time I told my friends to show up. So probably about 10 o'clock, hopefully.
Why 9:32?
Because the one person said they get off work at 9, and so my girlfriend was like, well, they probably will take an hour to get here, and I'll go like, we'll start at 9:32. I like giving very specific times. But that is all of the content. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Also, side note, you're going to be seeing a lot of Matt because things are happening, and we're going to be making some changes to the show. Just stick around. We're not drastic changes. We're just going to be tweaking some stuff. But
monumental changes.
This is actually, again, the Baby Peanut or the Mr. Peanut show that me and Matt have been teasing. That's what we're changing this to. It's still gonna be the same name. Still Ready Set Gamecast. It's about Mr.
Couldn't
Peanut.
come up with anything other than that.
Well, we just wanted to keep the listeners, keep the SEO.
But we will see you again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.